common tree shapes that are used when you're fruit tree training. Can you talk to us about some of the most common ones? I know there's open center, central leader. I think there's a few more. Break it down for us.
Yeah, so in my book, Fruit Tree Pruning, I talk about the two main ones. And so let's talk about why you even need a structure. Why can't you just selectively pick out of this branch and that branch? And I'll tell you a story. I went to Virginia. I do public speaking, and I was talking to a group of like a arborist community group or training arborists. And before my talk, they had me do a fruit tree pruning demo. So I go out to the tree and I start to talk and I say, okay, so now I'm taking my pruners and I'm going in and I'm about to make a cut. And I'm not just like, we call it heading back, shortening a branch. I'm not just shortening the branches. I'm going in there on this young tree and thinning out. I am cutting out a whole branch right to the trunk. One of these arborists looked like she was going to jump and physically hold me back because I was pruning out a healthy branch. Totally healthy. Why is this crazy woman removing healthy branches? As an arborist, you don't do that. You prune out broken branches or crossing branches. You do not prune out totally healthy branches, but you do that with fruit tree pruning because you are working to create, especially when the tree is young, a strong fruit-bearing structure for your tree that has great air circulation and that allows the canopy to dry out so it doesn't collect moisture and spread fungal diseases. And so that sunlight gets to every single branch so that it can photosynthesize properly, it can ripen the fruit properly, all that good stuff. So that's why we need specific structures. It's not just, oh, I got to prune my fruit trees, I'll just snip here and snip there, because sometimes you could be making things worse and not better. So the first structure I learned was called central leader. And that structure became popular in the early 1900s. Because it creates a structure where your tree looks a little bit in a triangle shape, sort of Christmas tree shaped, but you've got horizontal branches. We call them platforms. So the first platform of, let's say, 3 to 5 branches might be at my knee height. And like a Christmas tree, those will be the widest branches. The next platform might be at my waist. Again, 3 to 5 branches. And let's say if you want one more platform, maybe it's at my shoulders, 3 to 5 branches. Each of these branches is pointing in a different direction, and each of them is chosen so that it's not shading the ones below. So between each platform, you've got like two feet, let's say, of empty space. And that allows the air circulation to go through. Then you go and you top your tree. So it's a beautiful triangle. Imagine you take a bamboo stick and walk around just to shorten the branches so that the top ones are not longer than the bottom ones. Every time you shorten the branch, it's like what we talked about earlier in the show. You are allowing the energy of that branch to go to fewer buds. Okay, not as long, so few more energy for the remaining buds, more chance of getting fruit depending on the time of year you do it. And those branches get thicker and stronger because they got a little more energy. So they can have more secondary tree growth, right? So you're creating this kind of chunky, like thick little branches on the top and on the bottom. So the branches get thicker and stronger. In 2013, we had an ice storm here in Toronto, and big trees were falling down all over the place. Our little fruit trees, not one broken branch, because we had been pruning them for strength so they could support a heavy harvest. A little bit of ice, what do they care? They're no problem. Okay, you're creating this really lovely structure for the tree by removing healthy branches, right? You're sculpting the tree. The second, that's great for, in my climate, for apples and any climate, for apples and pears. You can grow sour cherries in that central leader format. You can grow lots of things, apricots. But there is another structure that people have used since the beginning of time, since like Roman times. And that is the more traditional vase shape. It's also called open center. where instead of having that Christmas tree shape with a tall leader at the top, the tallest branch, you've got the little trunk, and then it divides up into 3 to 5 strong branches. And each of those branches, after about 36 inches, subdivides into another 2 branches. And each of those 2 branches subdivides into another 2 branches. So if you're looking at that from the top, it might look like a bowl or a plate. You're trying to fill up the space around the tree with lots of growing area. But this is a great structure if you live in a damp climate. You cannot get better air circulation than that. Okay. So, and sunlight penetration, whatever, all that good stuff. So that's awesome there's certain types of trees that, like plums, sometimes, depending on the cultivar, plums just want to grow into big open bowls. And cherries, sweet cherries, often want to grow into this big open center shape. So it depends on the types of tree you're growing. There's a number of trees in our park that we started off, our sweet cherries, we started off as central leader with a central branch, trunk, and then, like I described to you, the Christmas tree shape. It didn't want it. At first, it got a disease on the central leader. And then in the end, it just had these swooshing branches. And we said, oh, let's just turn it into open center. So every tree has its own personality and its own growing style. And they'll teach you year by year what to do.
Go to the full episode by clicking the outro card here, or click the link in the description section below. Catch you in the next video.